fastest show in sports.
We have already decided that college football is not about the student athlete. It has absolutely nothing to do with education. What it has to do with is money, making millions of dollars for the university, for the coaches, for everybody involved, for the sponsors, the television networks. As far as the players are concerned, sure, they're making millions of dollars. But the universities, they really don't care. Neither do the bowl games or the playoff committees or anybody else. Look, if the players can make money, even better, because that takes them off the hook. At this point, it means that the schools themselves don't have to worry about paying anybody because they're making it all on the outside, though there will come a time when they will get paid. What this is all about is money. But in the case of Arizona State University, this is about a race to the bottom, because there's a couple of things in here that just don't sing right. And it's going to create a problem not just for ASU, but for others who are not part of the Big Ten and the SEC. If you don't already know this, if your school is not a part of the Big Ten, the Southeastern Conference, or as we've learned in recent weeks, Notre Dame, then you're on the outside looking in, and you are not going to make the tremendous amount of money that those schools make. It eventually is a play for the Big Ten and the SEC to pretty much take over. And why not? It's going to happen sooner or later. I mean, there may be 2, 3, 4 conferences, but a lot of them are going to be useless one day because the money will flow through the Big Ten and the SEC. Arizona State doesn't have that luxury. And what's happened there in the last couple of days is interesting, and it also points to a problem that is really coming around in college football. First of all, let's deal with Kenny Dillingham, the head coach. He has signed an extension worth over $35 million. Now, let's not forget, too, that Dillingham was also on the hook potentially at Michigan. The Wolverines were thinking about him as a possibility, but now that's gone away because he has signed a brand new extension at ASU. He wasn't going to Michigan anyway. He was using Michigan as a leverage tool to get more money at ASU. Hey, granted, how many people do that? Players, coaches, everybody does that. So that's not really a problem here. But it's what happened afterwards. When Dillingham signed his extension, he then came out and basically went begging for people to put more money into Arizona State athletics. Now, this is a guy who has just signed on for $35 million at a state university. Got to wonder where that money's coming from, right? You'll never really know. But then he comes out and says, hey, we live in Arizona now. We've got millionaires here. There's got to be somebody out there who can write a $20 million check to help us. Now, hang on a sec here. Kenny, let's you and I talk for a minute. You just pilfered the university for $35 million to be the head coach of a football team. I mean, that's really all you do. You don't teach, you don't do anything else. You're the head coach, which means the buck stops with you. Okay, you've now got 35. Maybe you could have signed for 30, maybe 25. Do you think maybe some of that money could have been given back to the program? And if you're so concerned about the program having enough money, maybe you could have given a couple of bucks in there. What, like $25 million? You're going to run out of money one day if you took $10 million less? How about a grand gesture to say, here's $35 million that I'm signing for, and I'm going to take $25 million. My family can live on $25 million. I can invest that. There's no problem. And then the university will be even better off. But no, he basically goes out wandering, pandering, if you will, to the big-name boosters. And that's part of the issue here. Because Arizona State's not the only school to do this. There's plenty of schools out there that are doing it, that are turning to the multi-billionaires to ask them, beg them, basically tell them, give us your money. And they're doing it because these are the guys and the gals, but mostly the guys, the rich white guys, who want to make sure that they're part of a college football program and they get to go to the games and they get to go to championship games, and they're basically buying and selling the players. It is their money. It can't last forever. I mean, are you going to continually say, let's say ASU comes out and they have 3 straight losing seasons. It's not going to happen, I get it. But let's just say that ASU came out 3 seasons, didn't make the playoff, didn't go to the championship, whatever. Do the big guns still come in? Do they still come in and throw 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 million dollars at them? Why? If it's not getting it done, if you're not winning, and if you're not really getting any better, why should they give them the money? So here you have schools like ASU that are relying on the money for the big name boosters, the big name supporters. And remember, boosters used to be a crime when the NCAA ran things, because they kept a lot of the booster money away for this exact reason. Because those boosters then create an incredible amount of influence on the program. They get what they want when they want it. And I got to tell you, if you want to look any further, go look at LSU. Because LSU decides that they're going to, as a committee, decide who comes in. And it was the people on the committee who wanted Lane Kiffin. It wasn't necessarily the governor or anybody else. But the committee, which is made up of the boosters, which is where the money is, basically decided they wanted Lane Kiffin. So therefore LSU went after him. It's not the school making the decisions anymore. It's the boosters. It's their money. And it's crass in its first place for Dillingham to sign this ridiculous contract. And again, I'm going to be one of those guys to come out here and tell you, I don't think college football head coaches are worth $35 million. I don't think they're worth 30 or 25 or 20. No, they're not. I mean, certainly they're worth money because they help generate money for the program, but there's a lot of these guys out there making stupid amounts of money that they really don't need, they'll never spend in their lifetime, and how about some of that money maybe going back into creating a better program? I know, it's shocking. I mean, go ahead, slap me down here and say, oh, Ed, you just don't know. If you had 35, and here's the argument that I always love. People will say, well, Ed, if you had somebody offer you $35 million, I'll bet you would take it. Not necessarily so. What am I going to do with $35 million that I couldn't do with $25 million? But the fact that Dillingham signs for it, look, I hold nothing against him. Get what you can. The kids are certainly doing it right now. Call them kids or young adults. They're doing it right now because they're getting a spitload of money from sponsors, boosters, NIL, everything else. They're taking advantage of it. Good for them. I would never tell anybody, don't get what you're worth. But at the same breath, all that money that's there is a problem because you're going to get to a point where it's going to become more and more and more and more. And how do you pay it? You pay it with these private funding boosters. They will control college football. They will control it. The networks control it. The sponsors certainly control it. And everybody's going to make money at this end. But see, I guess what I'm doing here is I see the problem here. Because sooner or later, this private funding is going to wear out. It's not always going to be there. With the Big Ten and the SEC and the way things change, when we go to 24 teams in the playoff, and one of these days when a lot of these conferences basically become secondary conferences with zero power whatsoever, the money is going to be there for some, but not for everyone. So the crass moment for Dillingham to come out and say, oh, there's got to be people out there to write us a check for $20 million. Do you realize what message that sends? That sends a message that, hey, we're a university and we're going to go ahead. We're a state-funded university. Arizona State, remember. But we still need all your money to make it because without you, we can't field a winning football team, a winning basketball team, and that's it. Look, again, they don't care about anything else. They don't care about women's basketball. They don't care about a track team. They don't care about a swimming team. They don't care about any of this. What they care about is football and basketball. But in the case of Arizona State, it's mostly football. So if the money goes there, great. But that money's going to dry up sooner or later. It's not sustainable. The issue is, if you're going to get paid, Kenny, old boy, don't go out there and beg for more money. It's not your job. Your job is not to go out there and beg for more money. Your job is to coach a football team. Your job is to win with the football team. Go right ahead. I still think you're horribly overpaid. And I'd like to go ahead and recircle to this in 3 years and see just what he's done with that $35 million and see if he's made Arizona State a winning program. Hey, but again, here it comes. You are the fans. You're not just fans of ASU. You're fans of college football. Do you care? No. You don't care that he makes $35 million. You don't care that somebody writes a $30 million check, but you should, because it costs more to go to games. It costs more for the regular fan to go to the game. Even at college athletics anymore, you can't just afford a ticket. It's not that easy. And you have people buying up permanent seat licenses and skyboxes and basically signing leases for their seats in some places. You're being priced out. Go ahead and try to get to a playoff game, if ASU gets in it, or any other playoff game, and see how much money it costs you. Shouldn't that money be used to defer some of the money in there to create a cheaper ticket for some of the fans? Why not? Shouldn't it be easier for you to go to the games? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And yeah, you've got all this money rolling in. Put it to use across the board. But that doesn't happen because it still goes to college football and college basketball. Those are the guns. And as I just said a moment ago, but I'm going to say it again to make sure people hear it, most schools only care about women's basketball or women's athletics or conforming to Title IX because they have to. They don't necessarily care because it makes money. They don't necessarily care because the networks are beating down their door for sponsorships. And they're only doing it because they want to do the right thing by female fans and that female players, and they want to keep them happy. Go ahead, hammer away with me all you will. But I know this to be true. I've sat with individuals before who run major colleges, and they basically look at women's athletics as just a throwaway. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put money to it. But if the football program and the men's basketball program isn't making money, that's where we got a problem. So Kenny, stop begging. I find it disgusting. I find it crass. I find it really abhorrent that after you took care of yourself at $35+ million, you're going out saying that somebody in Arizona's got to have a check for $20 million to write us a check and help us. Do you realize what nonsense? Do you realize how you come off with that? Do you realize what you're saying to the general? Look, not every fan at ASU or any other school makes millions of dollars and can afford these tickets at $200, $300, $400 a pop. I mean, you can't take the family to the games anymore. Even student sections in some places are getting priced out. It is completely unsustainable. What is happening at ASU is endemic to what is happening around college football in a lot of the conferences. If you're not Big Ten, if you're not SEC, you're not making that huge money, you're not going to get it. And yeah, you're going to get it occasionally. Your team gets on a winning streak. You get into the playoff system. You get into the Final Four. You get into the tournament. And you're going to make a buck. But it's a temporary dollar. It's going to crash. The college athletics system, the way it is right now, will crash because there's nobody at the helm. There's nobody holding down the rules. There's nobody watching where the money is being spent. It is being spent a lot of times where people don't know where it's being spent. I guarantee you, there are universities around the country right now that are making tens and maybe hundreds of millions of dollars, and they have no clue where some of that money is coming from or even where any of that money is going. They don't care as long as it winds up in the bank account. They'll tell you they know where it is, but they don't. So for the college football fan, understand, we're at a crisis time here in the game because we haven't even touched on the fact that a lot of these athletes, why would they want to go to Arizona State? Why would they want to go to other schools when they can get a pop in the portal by going to Notre Dame, Alabama, Miami, Oregon, Washington, Texas A&M, Texas, Georgia. I mean, I can go on and on. Florida, Florida State, any Penn State, if I forgot to mention Penn State. Why? I mean, eventually those schools are going to get all their players, and there's going to be a lot sitting out there that will have no chance to get in there. So are they going to go to the secondary schools? Probably. But how long are they going to be there? Because now, even if you have spitloads of money coming in from sponsors and private sources, players can look at you and they say, well, you know, I came in here and we got 5 wins this year. I'm out of here. I mean, it's rent-a-player time. All the money you've got, and you don't have enough. In a lot of these schools, you don't have the kind of money that they have at a Notre Dame, a Big Ten, or an SEC school. You're going to have to take the scraps occasionally. and the scraps mean you're not going to win all the time, and your boosters are going to say, what am I giving you all the money for? Because I don't see any return on it. It's still an ROI. It's a return on investment. And right now, there are colleges that are sitting there waiting for the bottom to fall out. It's going to happen. It's going to change college football again. And we are still, one day, I know that everybody says most people say it's impossible, guaranteed. We are going to get to the space of the haves and the have-nots again in college football. You're going to have maybe 20 programs, maybe 25, 30 would be a far edge out there, but I still think it's going to come in the 20 to 25 range. We're going to have the money rolling in. They are going to get the best players, and all these little Cinderellas that you see popping in right now, like Tulane and James Madison, and Ole Miss even, for that point, you're going to see them disappear because everybody is still going to gravitate up to the higher level of where the big money is, where the big payoff is, where the big chance at a college championship is. And as you get down here, it's not that attractive. I can't make the money, and I'm not going to win a title. It's going to change again, and college football will not be the better for it.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.